Hi everyone, it's Miss Christy from East Pennsboro Library, and today I'm going to show you how to make paper string puppets. I was really kind of a little excited about this one. It turned out pretty neat. So you got puppets that you can make walk and move. Today we're going to make this one. You're also going to get the pattern for this little guy here. Let me fix him up. For this little cat guy here so that he can walk. You can maybe have them play with each other a little bit. Hey, how you doing today? I'm just fine. Thanks for asking. So let's see how we can make these and we'll have a lot of fun at home with them. Today we're going to make my friend the horse. Let me twist his legs around a little bit and we'll see how easy it is to do. So let's take a look at our title page for our project quickly, which is how to make paper string puppets. And here's what you're going to have when you're finished with both of them, because you'll get the template to do both faces. Let me take a look with you at the directions before we do anything else. Actually, I'm going to show you the supplies first. There we go. So you're going to need construction paper or poster board. Some people like to use construction paper because you don't have to do as much coloring. I prefer to use poster board because it holds up a little bit stronger when you're doing your faces. You're going to need googly eyes, yarn, scissors, a hole punch, markers, paint, glue. I have a glue stick here, and I also have my handy dandy glue dots that I love to use when I make things. A paper towel roll that's empty, which I have right here. Pipe cleaners, and I have got my handy dandy pipe cleaners right here. Patterns for the faces and some craft sticks. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to take our craft sticks and we're going to lay them in an X formation and glue them in the center. You could do this with hot glue, but I'm going to do it with a glue dot. I'm just going to take the glue dot and stick it right onto the center of my craft stick. Peel that baby off and put my other craft stick in an X formation across it. If I get a little bit off, push them together really tight so that they hold them and lay that to the side. The next thing that I'm going to do is take my pattern. Let me show you the pattern. Here's your pattern, and I'm going to use the bottom horse pattern right here for my project that I'm going to show you how to do today. So I'm going to take that pattern and cut it out. Very easy. And you got to cut around everything, but I'm going to double mine to make it a little bit stronger. I'm done cutting. So I'm just cutting out my horse pattern here. There's my horse's face all cut out. Now we're going to do his tail quickly. And now I've got the horse's tail. And my horses. Gotta clean up some of my mess here. I got my horse's tail and my horse's head. I'm just going to draw them. I folded my paper over so that I could double that up. Oh no, I lost my pencil. That's okay, we'll do it with a marker. So I'll trace my pattern. Right on here like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. Got my horse's head. Now I'll do my horse's tail. All right, and then I'm going to cut these out and I'm going to color them in. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I've already colored some. But what I did was the reason that I doubled it up like this is because before I start to color, or even maybe after I start to color, depending on how I feel, I am going to, there we go. I'm going to double this up and I'm going to glue. I'll just show you because I already have my pieces made. I'm going to glue these together like this so that they're a little bit stronger. And I'm just going to do that with a little bit of glue stick. Boop. And now it's extra thick. When I glued mine together, then what I did was I colored them with brown marker, and here's my tail. So these are the two pieces that I have so far. I'm going to lay them to the side. I've got my sticks ready to go and my head ready to go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel tube and I'm going to measure 5 inches. I'm going to take my paper towel tube and measure 5 inches from the end. 5 inches seems to be the best amount that helps our puppets to be able to maneuver correctly. Mark that. And then if I fold my tube like this, I can cut right on that line. Now I've got my 5-inch tube for the body. Looks a little brown. You could do a couple different things with this. You could paint it, or you could just color it with the brown marker. I decided to paint mine. So now I've got my painted tube. I've got my head and my tail. And I've got what I'm going to use to manipulate my puppet. Let's look at what we're going to do next. This little guy here, he needs a face on him. So let's try and get a face on him. Let me share some directions with you quickly, and we'll see where we're at with our project. So if we look here, we have laid the craft sticks in the X formation. We've traced the patterns. Now we need to we're going to use the markers to add details to the deer. And we're going to put a wiggly eye on each side. So let's see how we're going to do that. You know how I am about my wiggly eyes. I like my wiggly eyes to be glued on with glue dots because they seem to work the best for me. So I'm going to go in here and I think I'm going to make his eyes blue. We'll have a beautiful deer with blue eyes. Get me 2 blue wiggly eyes out of my wiggly eyes container. And I'm going to take my glue dot, cut that baby in half because I only need a little bit of it. Peel it off and stick the eyeball on it so I can stick it onto my deer. or horse, whatever you'd like for it to be. Whoops, got flying glue dots. All right, let's stick this one here. Put it right about here, I think. Now I've got an eyeball on one of my sides. Let me get my other glue dot here. See if I can get an eyeball on my other side. These glue dots are so much easier to work with. Got my dot on my other side at exactly about the right spot. Now he looks like he might need a little mouth on there. Let's see here. All right, let's get a mouth on this guy. I decided to use silver. I'm just gonna kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm just drawing a little mouth like this. Looks like he's smiling almost. Maybe a little dot here for his nose. All right, what do you think? And I'm going to put a little bit of schnaz on him and decorate him up a little bit. I'm also going to do the same thing to my tube. I'm going to just kind of decorate him up a little bit, put some lines on him, make him seem like maybe he's a silver deer. Here we go. So now I've got my body ready to go, my head ready to go. Oh, let me make a little bit of mark on my tail here. Boop, boop, got my tail all ready to go. And we're ready for the next step. The next step is going to be to get this thing going. So here's what we're going to do. We've got everything ready. We are going to use the hole punch and we're going to punch holes in here. We're going to punch one hole on the left side and the top right side of the tube, the front and the back. The right side hole is going to be the front. The left side hole is going to be the back. So let's see what that's going to look like. The right side hole about right there. And then another hole over here like this. Bam. So we've got opposite holes. You see, I've got my right side hole here. It's going to be the front. My left side hole. Right. No. If I'm looking at it like this, there we go. Miss Christie got confused. Here's my right side hole for the front and my left side hole for the back on the other side. So let's look at how we're going to put this thing together. So we got our holes cut out. And we're going to make a small slit in the top to put the tube into and a small slit in the opposite end for the tail. If you need to, you can use glue or tape to hold it together. Let's see what that is going to look like. As a matter of fact, I think that what I'm going to do is take you through to the pipe cleaners too. After we go ahead and put our head in and our tail in, we are going to make slits and put the pipe cleaners in for each foot. So let's see what that's going to look like. So got my head here, and I think probably right about there will be a good spot for my head. So I'm going to just cut a small slit in the tube like this. And then I'm going to cut a small slit in the center of the head like this. And watch what's going to happen. My two slits are going to slide together right like this. And then I can move it up if I need to tape it. And now I've got his head on there. Check him out. He looks pretty good if I do say so myself. Maybe maneuver him around a little bit. Now I'm going to go to the back. Try and get a slit at about the same spot. And a little slit in his tail. Not too much, just a little bit. I'm going to slide his tail right in here like that. So now we've got almost all of our puppet made. I need to give him some legs though. So, pipe cleaners. All I'm going to do is bend them in half. And I'm going to go one. Then I'm going to fold that up one more time. Two. Fold it up one more time. And now he's got some legs. I'm going to do that with my other pipe cleaner quickly. One, two, right, like that. Now, where am I going to put these legs? Well, I'm going to turn this boy over, and all I'm going to do is put a little tiny slit right about here, and then about the same distance from the back, put another tiny slit. The nice thing is you can kind of maneuver and manipulate things around because of what you're using. Then I'm going to stick this part through, sorry about that. Got my slits right here. I'm going to stick this through the slit, kind of push it down on the inside to hold it still, twist it around once to make it stay. And now I've got some legs on my deer. I'm going to do the same thing with this slit. Push this through the slit, pull them up to about the same length because we know he's got to have the same length legs. Push this, twist it around once. Now I have got a deer that has some legs that can run. This thing's really starting to come together. All right. Come on, legs. There we go. You can maneuver them any way that you think you need to. But we've got our head, we've got our tail, we've got our legs. The last thing we need to do is take care of the strings. Let me show you how we're going to do that. So we cut two 12-inch pieces of yarn. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Two 12-inch pieces of yarn. So let me go here. There's one 12-inch. And I like to cheat a little bit. I'll just line this right back up. Cut another 12-inch piece of yarn. All right. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you what you're going to do. You're going to slide one piece of yarn through the front hole and tie it in a knot. You're going to repeat it with the second piece in the second, and then you're going to tie the yarn to one of the craft sticks that you made the X in step one. Tie both pieces of yarn to the same stick, but on opposite sides. And I'll show you what that looks like, because that sounds very confusing. So I'm going to take my yarn, and what I'm going to do is just kind of tie a knot in the bottom of it like this. I'm going to do it twice. Might need to do it 3 times depending on what strength yarn you're using. And I'm going to just take this and I'm going to feed it through my hole. Don't want to pull on it too hard or your knot will come right through. There we go. There's the first part. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. Tie 2 knots in the bottom. 1, 2, and I'm going to slide it through the next hole, Oh no, kind of got a little messed up there. That's okay. Pull that through like that. And now we need to take care of the last part, which is putting our puppet together on here. I'm gonna put my puppet down, and what we need to do is we're gonna tie both sides. Uh-oh, my stick came apart. There we go. Get that baby back together. We're gonna tie both sides to the same stick. So I'm just gonna kind of do a loopy-loo here. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm gonna do a loopy-loo. Tie a little knot here. Christy's hands aren't quite as small or agile as they used to be. There we go. We got one knot in. So we got half of her hanging. Now we just got to get the other half to hang. And you want to try to keep it so that it's even. See how I got it so that it's kind of hanging even, so that it moves around better. And I'm going to tie my knots in here. All right, and I think that we've got our string puppet ready to go. Look. Oh, pop his head back up. Sometimes you got to maneuver him around a little bit. And there we go. We've got our puppet, and we can move him all over the place. So let me share with you one more time the directions in case you get confused. And I've already shared with you all of the materials, the items that you need, how you're going to make the project. And one more thing before we go, I hope you enjoy making this project. I want to share one more screen with you. I would love to see what you do with your paper string puppets. So if you would like to share that, you can share a picture of your string puppet with Miss Christy. You can email your pictures to kscrignoli@ccpa.net. Thanks so much for joining me today to learn how to make paper string puppets, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.